Etsy, what are you doing to us? So Etsy has recently removed the feature in their search results that shows us how many competing listings there are for a particular search phrase. It's something that I'm sure buyers look at so they can figure out, man, how many options do I have to look through? And sellers certainly use it so that we can identify how much competition there is for a particular search phrase. It's a bit of a bummer, and it's actually thrown off even some of the best of the third-party research tools that have helped us because they were pulling that data to give us all kinds of keyword research. But I can tell you that Everbee has been, of course, this is in true Everbee fashion, not affected. Their algorithms, the way they have wired that thing is apparently top notch because their data is still coming out clean. They're still able to show us in the data how many competing listings there are. So props to Everbee, and we will be looking at them further along in this video. But I am going to show you today how you can work around this. There is still a way that you can see how many competing listings there are, totally free without paying for a third-party tool. And that is what we are going to look at. If you stick around after our workaround, I'm going to give you a little tutorial for how you can use Etsy.com to go ahead and find areas of opportunity on Etsy where if there's not as much saturation and you can compete because there is still demand and people searching for products. There are all kinds of ways that you can work the site itself for that data. And then after that, I'll show you how you can use Everbee to make it even faster. As an entrepreneur, it's always this toss-up between time and money. Do I have a little bit of money that I can put in to make my job easier and faster and get results quicker? Or do I not have any money and I need to use my time? And that is my asset. And I'm going to spend a little extra time in the research doing it manually to figure it out. I'm going to show you how to do both. I don't think there's a wrong way. When I first started, there weren't third-party tools. So we had to use the just Etsy.com slog through the research kind of a tool. If we don't know one another yet, hi, I'm Lizzie Smiley, and I host the How to Sell Your Stuff on Etsy podcast. And it is where I share long form strategies, tips, trends, interviews, all kinds of inspiration and help for your Etsy shop. We have a blast over there. There's over 100 episodes, over 500,000 downloads. And I'd love for you to join me on Apple, Spotify, right here on YouTube, Google, or Amazon, basically wherever you like to get your podcasts. I got my start on Etsy making wood signs back in 2016, and we used reclaim wood and new wood, and we made frame signs. We were able to sell thousands of signs, make hundreds of thousands of dollars on the platform, and we only turned the shop on vacation mode because I got pregnant and had a little baby. It wasn't a good idea for me to be lifting 20-pound signs and dealing with stains and paints and all of that. And so in the meantime, I started the podcast, which took off, and I started doing all of this coaching. And that led me to creating a print-on-demand shop and 2 digital product shops, which are what I'm working on now. I don't even think I'm going to go back to signs at this stage. I'm having too much fun. But I've got experience in physical products, print on demand, and digital products. And this today is going to help you no matter what you sell on Etsy. So let's pop over to Etsy.com and I'll show you what has happened, what they've changed, and I'll show you the workaround. So if we do a search in the search bar, let's say we're going to look at cat costumes, because the guest on my podcast this week is this college student who makes cat costumes and she kills it. And her little passion for sewing turned into a side hustle. So here we go. If we search cat costumes, these are the search results. And it used to be that right here in the upper right-hand corner, it would tell me exactly how many competing listings there were, like down to the number. And now, if it's under 1,000, it'll tell you the exact number. If it's anything over 1,000, it says 1,000 plus with ads. This is problematic for Etsy sellers because 1,000, if there's 1,000 versus 10,000 versus 100,000, that's a really big difference in the terms of like the competition for that particular word. I really need that data. So here is the workaround. As of this recording, they have not removed it from the Etsy Buyer app. So if you go to the Etsy Buyer app and you do the search there, you can see here that they are still showing us the number of search results. Thank you. Hallelujah. There's a way to do it. It's a little annoying having to navigate back and forth between your browser where you're doing your research and your phone on your app, but at least it gives us something. And if you don't want to have to do that, you want to just stay in your browser, I recommend Everbee to be able to look at that data at a glance. I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit. So why does this matter? So if you're new to Etsy, if you've just started a shop or you're thinking about one, or maybe you've had a shop for a little while now, but you're not getting sales, the reason that this matters is because you need to find opportunities in the market. You may have heard some people say, Etsy's too saturated, don't even bother with it. And that is simply not true. There are keywords on Etsy that are super saturated that aren't going to work for you, where there's just way too much competition and you're going to show up too far in the search results. But there are still thousands of opportunities in the micro niches on Etsy. So what is a micro niche? Here's the deal. A big niche or a head keyword would be like mom, a mom gift, mom shirt, the mom niche. That is a massive niche. Yes, there's tons of searches by customers every month, but there's also tons and tons and tons of competing listings. You're not going to make any headway trying to come in as a new shop into those niches, but there's still opportunity for you. You just need to find the micro niches. So if the head niche is mom niche, you want to drill down to something really refined like Taekwondo mom niche. There aren't going to be as many searches every month for a Taekwondo mom shirt, for example, but there's also not going to be as much competition, and you have an opportunity to start getting a foothold and get some sales. The dog mom niche is under the mom niche, but still pretty broad. There's going to be a lot of competition there. But what if you drill down to the dachshund mom niche? Now you have got a way less competition to deal with. So what happens is a new seller comes in, they create products and listings for all of these little micro niches. They totally get an edge on Etsy. This is how people succeed today. They get an edge, they start getting sales, they get lots of them because they have many listings from many little micro niches. And then it elevates the actual ranking of the whole shop. And when you start creating products that are for bigger niches, bigger keywords, you can compete and rank for them because Etsy's going to look at you and say, people like this shop's listings, we're going to go ahead and show people more of them. And it works like a charm. So I myself have started 3 new shops within the last, one of them was May of 2023, and then one of them was October of 2023, and one of them was January of 2024. All of them have several hundred sales already because I have used this exact strategy. So I'm just telling you, you can listen to the naysayers saying you can't do it, it's too saturated, don't bother, and you can stay exactly where you are. Or you can go after the micro niches, prove all of them wrong, and start building the shop and the life and the work that you really want to do. So how do you find a micro niche on Etsy? I am so glad you asked. Let's start with how you can do it. Totally free, no third-party tool necessary, and then I'll show you how you can cut your time into a fraction using Everbee if that's something that you have the ability to do right now. So let's try a different keyword because cat costumes is a pretty busy niche, although you could drill down to like what axolotl cat costume and maybe get some headway, a strawberry cat costume. There's going to be micro niches even within cat costumes where you can start to rank. But let's do the bookish niche is a very popular niche. There's like Bookstagram and Book Talk, and people love their books. Now you can see that it's auto-populating these suggestions. These are the most searched. But I did a bunch of searches, which is what you would need to do. And I found an opportunity in bookish blankets. So the reason that I can tell that it's a good opportunity is that when I pull up my app and I look at the search results, I can see that there's about 2,400 competing listings for this phrase. That's not so bad. I mean, it's not under 1,000, which would be amazing, but that's not so bad. It's not like it's over 5,000 competing listings. So I've established that there is not a ton of competition for bookish blankets. The next thing I need to do is establish, well, is there demand for it? Because if there's no demand, it doesn't matter how awesome of a product you create on Etsy. If there's no demand, meaning people aren't automatically searching for it, you're not going to make any headway unless you send all of your shoppers from social media or off of Etsy yourself. The marketplace is only going to work for you if you are selling something that is already in demand. So we can figure out if there's demand by searching Etsy and seeing if there are best sellers for that particular keyword. So when we search for bookish blankets, we've got our results here. And what we're going to do is we're going to filter by bestseller. So if I go to all filters, there's no longer a direct bestseller filter, but if I click the star seller filter and show results, you can see it's filtered by star seller here. And there's a workaround. You can come up to the address bar and you can replace the word star with the word best. I lost a underscore there. And you will see that my filter will update to the star seller. So I always like to say we love a lazy coder. So they left this in here for us to work around. Now I'm dealing with fewer search results and all my best sellers are going to be one place. Watch out for throughout here are going to be lines of ads. You'll be able to see Add by Etsy Seller in the place where the shop name should be. So skip those. This is our first line of true results. And bestseller, 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 bestseller 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 best-selling, 8 Wow. 9. Nope, that's an ad. See, ignore the ads. 10. Okay. Hello. Yeah. There are a lot. 11. Well, that's not really bookish, but it's pretty close with the mushrooms. I feel like that's a vibe. So there are a lot of bestsellers for bookish blankets. Some of them you'll notice here are actually violating copyright laws unless they own the rights to be able to sell. These are books. These are really, I'm a reader. These are really popular books. And you can't just go using someone else's intellectual copyrighted property to sell things on without getting into trouble later. But we can establish that it's not just overtaken by copyright violations. There's also this beautiful example of just antique vintage looking books on a blanket that is a bestseller. That tells me that there is great opportunity in this niche, and it's a really good one to jump into because there is not a ton of competition and there is demand. So like 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Just so you know, now everyone watching this video is going to go create a bookish blanket. So you're going to want to go find some of your own keyword opportunities, but that's how it would be done on the platform. So let's pop over and look at how we would do this in Everbee and save ourselves a ton of time without having to go search after search after search to find a micro niche that has opportunity. Everbee is a third-party tool that has an API connecting it to Etsy and its data, and that's how it's able to generate it for us. So what you do is you install it as a Chrome plugin on your Chrome browser. That sounds way harder than it is. There's plenty of examples on YouTube of how you can add the extension. It's not difficult, and it's going to start giving you data. So for example, if we start typing in bookish here, one of the first things that Everbee is going to do that I love is tell me for these phrases how many searches there are every month for them. It is a huge time saver. Another one might be, let's do our cat costumes. So here we go again, where it's telling me how many searches there are a month. That's a great tool. So the other thing that you can do, and what we're going to use now, is the sidebar tool over here. You can see here's Everbee. I love the keyword research tool. So if we come in here, we can type in any keyword and it's going to give us data about it. It's going to give us over 500 related keywords that would be similar. It's going to tell us how many monthly searches there are for it. It's going to tell us how many competing listings there are for it. And it's going to give us a keyword score. So we wouldn't have to drill down on Etsy. We could just come in here with our broad keyword, like bookish was the really broad one, hit enter, and it's going to do the hard work for us. And now it's going to give me over 200 competing or related keywords to bookish and tell me all the data. Now here's the trick. You could sift through them page by page. It's still going to be way faster than doing these searches on Etsy. But if you click on the keyword score and you filter it so that the highest, it's like highest to lowest, you want the higher the keyword score, the better. Okay, that's what you want. This is going to tell you where the opportunities are so quickly at a glance. The keyword phrase bookish bagged is great. There's 367 monthly searches for it and only one competing listing. Bookish athlete or aesthetic is also, this is a misspelling, so that's interesting. A lot of times Etsy will correct misspellings. You'll see it here too with the for her. I'm stubborn enough, I'd still try them, but Etsy says that they correct those. Gifted sweatshirt for bookish is a great keyword to use. 1,600 monthly searches with only 136 competing listings. And let's look at another one. Gift bookish sticker book, 583 searches a month with only 53 competing listings. You hit up enough of these, bookish wall art, 222 searches a month with only 52 competing listings. You go through enough of these and you're going to get a hop and shop if you use the correct SEO on your listing and you've got great photos. There is opportunity galore here. So you see how this saved me so much time rather than having to search and search and search and search. And here's the thing, like I said, when I started, I had to do all the searches. We didn't even have the tools. So no problem, at least there's a way, and now you know what it is to be able to find them. But Everbee can cut it just way down for you. If you'd like to try it, you can get a free trial with the link that I have down in the description for you. So go ahead and grab that and start playing with Everbee. You'll be able to have a free version, and then as you need more functionality from it, you can upgrade from there. I think it's an amazing tool, and like I said, it's the only one right now that I personally use that isn't having issues because of that change that just happened on Etsy. So I hope this is super helpful for you. I hope to see you over on the How to Sell Your Stuff on Etsy podcast for tons of tips and inspiration. And then 2024 is going to be my year of YouTube. I will be creating lots of content over here. So if you'd like more tutorials like this, where I'm going to help you short track your Etsy journey and get you going and teach you everything I know, you can go ahead and smash that subscribe button and I will be delivering all kinds of goodness to you. So thanks if you've stuck around this long. I hope you have an awesome day and I'll see you in the next video.